Hi, everyone. So we are editing, I think, the weekly digital. I forgot to look. I just clicked on the next one. I think that's correct. All right. I am going to share my screen again, and I'm going to share the whole thing. Let's see the weird picture in picture. All right. Let me make myself smaller. We're going to look at this one, I think. Hopefully that's the right label on this video. I forgot to mention too, all of the digital planners are on sale for 50% off, the ones that I've been updating this week, until this Friday. So after that, no, you don't need any discount code. I just went ahead and updated the system to make it easier. And then on Saturday when I wake up, everything will go back to regular price. But again, the best deal is just to buy a Planner Pixies membership because it's for the whole year. I haven't even raised the rate since the original founders rate. So it's still super discounted, and it is unlimited downloads for everything. So everything I'm creating, everything I'll make in the future. And that includes the card decks. I have, no, that's not true. I have 2 card decks all ready to go, 2 Oracle card decks, and I have a Tarot card deck that I'm making as well. So all of those are included in the price too, and then you wouldn't have to purchase those separately when those come out. But the reason I haven't released the tarot cards is because I think I'm going to raise the price for Planner Pixies when those get added. But back into what we're talking about. We're talking about the weekly digital planners. So digital planners, what are they? What makes them different? It just kind of looks like a fake planner inside of your iPad or inside of your tablet. I guess we call them tablets if it's Android or Windows, but either way, it will work inside GoodNotes, Zoto, Samsung Notes. I can't think of the name of anything else. Procreate, all of those things. Anything that has an annotation that it can do with the tablet or a pencil. So what does that mean? When you open this PDF inside of anything on your desktop or on any of those, it has what are called clickable tabs. What are clickable tabs? When I click tabs for February, it will jump to February. And what I've done is I've made it so, again, January, you notice, is over on the other side because in theory, if this was a real physical planner, when you clicked into February, the dates, the tab would go over to the left. Same thing with March. I can jump to June. I can jump to November. I can jump to May. Doesn't matter if it's on the left or the right. It is going to work perfectly. So 2 things, you can download this as is and just start selling it right away. You don't have to do anything different. You don't have to change anything. But if you do want to edit it, I have given you the files to edit it. Now, I want to be totally honest and open. I don't know what happened to the past versions of this file. I had to recreate this from scratch. So I don't have the editable Photoshop files for the tabs for you to make changes. I'm really sorry. I don't know where they went. I just kind of reused the ones that I saw that were in a download from last year at the JPEGs. I don't know where the Photoshop file went. But anyways, otherwise you can edit anything else on here. So you'll notice too, because when you go from being an 8.5 by 11 to this digital planner format, you do get more vertical space. So on the bottom, there's some extra white space. So what I did is on the bottom of this, I added right here a box for notes. And over on the right, I added a box that's just called Week in Review. You can rename it whatever you want. So let's go into the InDesign file if you want to edit it. So here you can see that it has like that weird, I don't know if it's pink or orangish kind of color, but this is because you have not said view over preview. But we're actually not going to do that because I want to show you where the tabs are. So that magic, the clickable tabs, is, see where it has these dotted lines? Anytime you see that inside of your Adobe InDesign file, that is a hyperlink. So all of your hyperlinks are located in your parent pages at the top. So again, if you don't see that, make sure to go to Window, make sure there's a check mark in front of pages, and then you should see this flyout menu. Above this, like a little imaginary line, well, I guess it's a real line. I don't know why I said imaginary. It's sometimes hard to see. The top part are your parent pages, and the bottom part are your like actual planner pages. So what makes a digital planner special is two things. One, well, lots of things, but one, it has the parent pages with the hyperlinks all in the parent pages. You'll probably never find the hyperlinks in the actual document except for the daily digital. And I will show you where that is. But they're always, always, always in the parent page. So that way, two things. One, it doesn't get broken as easily. And two, you can easily apply any of these pages to another page or adding another page without having to worry about relinking everything, all those tabs again. So how does that work? If you go over here to January and you right click on anything that has that dotted line around it, and you go down to hyperlinks, edit hyperlink, you can see that is linking to a page, not a URL, and it's linking to page 1.1. Now you'll notice the pages are not in sequential order from like 1 to 100. It is 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. And the reason it does that, it's what's called section and numbering, is so that it knows where to go inside of your document to get to that link. And then also logically, you know that section 1.1, this is the first page in it. 1.2, this is the second page inside of section 1.1. So that's the sort of rationale behind all of these page numbering sequences at the bottom instead of having it sequential from 1 to 100. Now, the next thing that you're going to want to do, or I shouldn't say you're going to want to, you might want to do is you might want to add pages in here, which you totally can. So now that you know where the hyperlinks are, we're just going to go view, overprint preview. Just makes it a little less messy to look at. So let's say I want to add some pages at the end of January. Like I think you should do a month in review, right? So I'm going to right click here. I'm going to say insert pages. I'm on the very last page. And I'm going to say I want 10 pages after page 1.5. I'm going to do like an extensive month in review. Like I'm going to review the budget, your revenue, how you're feeling, how your fitness is. Like I have so much to say. I'm making this up, right? So I'm going to put it after 1.5, and here it says parent page. So it's going to ask you which parent page do you want this to be based on. If you want it to be blank with no hyperlinks, you can do that and say none, but it's going to be an empty page. I would say just make sure it says it's January, whatever is already there. Once I say okay, when I double click inside of here, I'm going to see that now I have all of these, like the Saturday, Sunday thing, but I don't really need that, right? So what I can do is I can go in here, I can right click, and I can do two things. One, if I just have like a few pages and I want to make this really quick, I can say override all parent page items. And now you'll see the screen kind of blink. You got to watch it really close because otherwise it looks like nothing happens. It doesn't give you a confirmation. What that means is all of those parent page items now, you can delete them. So I could say, you know what, I'm just going to delete all this stuff because I don't really need it. I obviously still need the coil here in the center. I still need the background, obviously, right? And I'm just going to hit the delete button. I also don't need this 2023. So I'm going to delete that too. But I definitely need all of the tabs and I need all the hyperlinks. I'm going to leave those alone. In fact, what I would do if I were you, once I deleted all of those extra items, I would go to object and say, I would either group them or lock them so that then you can't like do anything. So I could go ahead, select everything, and I could go to lock. And so what lock means is anytime I try to move something or delete something and I'm hitting the delete button, I know you can't see that. Nothing is happening because I've locked it to like make it safe. So then if I want to add something, I could add a text box and I can start writing stuff or designing stuff or adding things to this page. Second way I could do this is I could go over here to the top and I could say, you know what, I know I'm going to add some January pages. I definitely want to keep the look of those tabs. So I'm going to right click here and I'm going to say duplicate parent spread. So now it's made a duplicate. I don't know why. It's really annoying. It drops it at the bottom. And I'm going to right click this. I'm going to say parent options and I'm going to say 1A because it's still page 1, but it's like a variation. And I'm going to say January Jan blanks. Okay. And I'll say, okay. but I also need to actually make it blank. So I will do the same thing I did before. I'll select everything except, and I'm holding down the shift key. I will select the coils because I want to keep that. I will select the background. I want to keep that. And I want to keep all the tabs. So I'm going to hit the delete key. And now I have my white page, plain blank white pages. And I can move this up here so I can see logically where it goes. And then down over here on these pages, see it says, if I hover over it, it says 1 January applied. Instead, what I could do is I could drag and drop 1A on here. And now it's a blank page, but I still have all of my magical tabs intact. So that is one way. If I just keep doing that, now I have all these blank pages and I can start editing anything I want. So those are two different ways that you can add pages, have them blank, and then you can still design and put anything else that you want to add to this planner. Another thing is, again, just like before, so I won't show you again because it's kind of boring. You can watch the other video, is how to edit any of these. You're going to edit the parent page. Everything on the parent page that has that parent page applied to it will be inside of here. Now, the most important thing is when you're done editing this file is you need to save it, export it, not even save it. You need to export it as an interactive PDF so that your tabs stay intact. So you're going to go to File, Export, and you're going to see that you have the option to do an interactive PDF or a print PDF. Print PDF, and the reason it gives you these options is because a print PDF has, I believe it just takes up less disk space. I don't know if that's like a real issue, but less disk space, it's like a pain to save all of those hyperlinks. So it's kind of like, well, why bother using the computing power? And also why bother, giving you this bigger file if you don't need it? So that's why. Just make sure the format is the correct one whenever you have a digital planner. Also, sometimes what I like to do is I like to package things. And when you do a file package at the end, it's going to save all your fonts for you in case you need them later. And then it's also going to save the INDD, the IDML, and a PDF. Now, when you do a file package, just know that PDF is a print PDF. It is not an interactive PDF. So don't send that to your customers. You need to make sure after you package it, which is fine, you package things so that you can go back and edit it later. Make sure that you do file export to remember the format is the Adobe PDF Interactive. So that's a wrap for everything for the weekly digital. And I will see you in 2 seconds. I'm going to shut this down and we're going to do the next video, which is, I don't know. I will check this time before I go so I make sure I have the right one. All right.